Hello everybody, day 4. Hope everybody's well. I hope if you're watching this back and we've just had a weekend, I hope you had a really nice weekend, or whatever's happened. I hope yesterday was a nice day for you. A lot of things going around at the moment with regards to people staying indoors, this sort of thing, and remaining there as much as possible. It is definitely something that people should be following, and I know the vast majority of people are doing this. When you're indoors, one of the things that happens is you can start to get bored. So happens to every one of us. You start to get bored. So there are plenty of things online. There are plenty of things that both parents and their children can get involved with. There's plenty of really good content on YouTube and stuff. If you're watching this, it's because you're watching YouTube, that sort of thing. So try and make sure that at least once, maybe twice a day, you have some form of physical exercise. Something where you exercise your arms and your legs, this sort of things. And also, at least once a day, try to make sure that you've got some sort of mental exercise, that sort of stuff. Which the great thing about Tai Chi is it gives you both. But try and make sure that you've got at least 2 lots of that every single day. And if you do that, you'll feel much better than sitting there watching the reruns on TV, that sort of thing. Maybe eating a bit too much, I don't know. But try and make sure you've got 2 forms of exercise, mental exercise and physical exercise. If you do that, you will, I promise you, feel a lot better. So anyway, day 4. Over the past 3 days, you've learned a number of ways of standing. You've gone through bee, eagle, bear. You did horse, riding horse. You did a dragon stance. You also did crane stance. So we're going to go through those, and then I'm going to add a brand new way of standing for you, and then we'll put the warm-up on. Okay? So if you bring your feet together, what way of standing is that? Yeah, B. Okay? So bring your hand across your face, make a fist, bring your cloud across, and bow. You bow in a B stance. Alright, so got a B stance, keep your heels touching. Make that V or V shape with your feet. It should look like that. So your feet are pointing. If you remember from the other lessons, they're pointing where you're going to move to next. They're pointing where you're going to step to next, that sort of thing. Okay? So you've got an eagle stance. Lift up your heels, twist, drop down. If you look down, you should have 1 spare shoe-ish between your feet. You've now got a bear stance. It's a narrow stance, very strong. Remember, it's a bear stance, so you have to bend your knees a little bit, kind of relax everything when you do that. All right? Go out a little bit wider. So now you have a what? Is that a horse stance? No. That's a horse stance, okay? So bend your knees. Remember, you're going to unlock your knees. Relax your shoulders. Relax everything. Even the crows above are agreeing with me on this one. No robins today, by the way, which is very unusual. My friend the robin might be around in a bit, I don't know. Okay, so if you look down, it's a very narrow way of standing. A very narrow horse stance. So what we're going to do now is we're going to make that twice as wide. Now if you remember a couple of days ago, or day 3, we had snow forecast here. There was no snow, so sadly we couldn't do the footprint in the snow. But you have to imagine, if you've got some snow, well, you're looking at this now, right, and you are stood outside, lift your foot up, footprint, step over the footprint. So the footprint's now the centre of your body. Bend your knees because you're going to sit on the horse, okay? So you're going to ride the horse. Hands go out, hold the reins, pull back, turn them over, tuck them in. Remember, you're already sitting on the horse. You've got to bend your knees, sit on the horse, okay? So they're the 5 basic ways of standing. Every single time I do a stream onto YouTube, we'll go over the main ways of standing. Okay, we might not do every one, but we will do a number of them to start off with, just to keep everybody, you know, reminding them, they can remember what ways we need to stand. Right. So the next ones that we did a dragon, and then we did a crane. So the crane was on day 3. So a dragon stance is, if I do this sideways on, it's an easier sort of angle for you guys to see. If I do a dragon stance, there are 3 things that we need to bend. So you have your front leg, bend slightly, okay? Then you've got your back leg is straight, but if you remember in the previous videos, but relaxed. So this hand here goes up, straight out, and then bend back a little bit there. This hand like that, and come back. So the 2 arms are bent, okay? And your front knee is bent. And you're leaning slightly, only slightly, you're leaning slightly into that right leg there. Or left leg, whatever leg you've got forward. Really slightly. Okay, there. In fact, I'll give you, if you want to keep it so it's completely equal between both feet, that's okay as well. So there. Feel your feet in the floor. That. Now, not strictly true for maths, what I'm going to show you now, but for an example, it is. So if you imagine that's 0 degrees, that's 90, half 90, 45. If you turn that over, and then you put that above your head, you've got this 45-degree angle there. It's extremely strong, very, very, very strong. You think about when people do press-ups, they go down, and at some point their arms move through varying sort of like, you know, degrees there, various angles as they go down. Most people will be able to do that even from the knees. They'll be able to do it so they can actually kneel down, put their hands in front of them, take the weight into your hands, and then go down, touch your head or your nose on the floor, and push back up, okay? And you'll feel that you've got some strength in the triceps when you do that, there, okay? 45-degree angles, very, very important. The next one we did, which was on day 3, right, that was a crane stance, and the classic one from the old Karate Kid film, where you lift your knee up in the air, you take your wings out, there, and bend the standing knee, bend the standing leg, there, and then down we go. Okay, you did that on both legs. Same with many things in Tai Chi. You get left dragon, right dragon, just means your left leg's forward or your right leg's forward. Left crane, right crane, okay? Whatever leg's forward, whatever leg and whatever hands, that sort of thing, it's telling you what side that is, all right? So today, brand new stance for you today, and it's called a monkey stance. And the monkey stance is really, really simple, but it will really get your legs. And it'll get the standing leg, and it'll get those quadricep muscles, quadriceptor muscles, over the tops of your knees. Quad means 4, obviously. Tri means 3, bi means 2. So you've got a quadriceptor muscles. You've got 4 muscles that are hanging over the tops of your knees. And those muscles, if they are strengthened, will help you with your balance. They'll help you, it'll help you with speed, this sort of thing, you know, from moving. They'll help you be able to propel yourself up, you know, from a normal standing or from a crouching, this sort of thing. Many, many, many muscles that, you know, obviously combine to do that, but the quadricep muscles over your knees are really important, particularly as people get older. What happens is a lot of people, when they start to get older, when I mean older, I mean sort of like 70s, 80s and above, this sort of thing. They might not do the same activities as what they did when they were maybe in the 30s, 40s, 50s, this sort of thing. So what happens is those muscles are not as strong. Doesn't mean you can't get them back, you can. You just have to train them, and Tai Chi is a really, really good way of subtly, if you remember, creeping up that strength. Strength slowly, slowly, slowly in your body gets better and better and better and better. And all of a sudden you think, wow, you know, I'm really stable, everything's really good. So what we're going to do now is this monkey stance, and I'm going to do it sideways on to start with so you can see, okay? So stand in, well, any stance you want basically, but around about a horse stance, and put one leg forwards, and I'll pull my bottoms up, and you put the heel down there, okay? So when you put the heel down, now what you're going to find when you do this to start with is you're going to find that your hips are at an angle. So if I do that facing towards the camera, if you put your heel down there, you can possibly see now, if I had a stick across here, you can see that that stick is at an angle. It's not square, all right? Now this is where it's going to get your legs, okay? So put your heel down, like that, and turn your hip. So now your hips are facing forwards, and you'll notice it'll not take long before you feel a nice burning sensation in the top of this standing leg. And make sure that these hips are square. So if I had a stick, a staff, and I put that there, it wouldn't be at an angle, it would be completely like I just do that and it goes right across my hips, there, okay? So let's do that from the side. I'll do it on the other leg so you can actually see the leg, and then I'll change it as we do it. So I'll put the other leg out, so there, so you can see now quite easily the heel on the floor, okay? And I'll turn my hip so you can see my hip sinks backwards and slightly down there, okay? So if we change legs, so again, there, and then I'm going to sink the hip backwards and down, there, okay? Now you'll feel this. Right, especially if you go too far. It's not, the correct monkey stance is a walking pace, as I said with the dragon stance the other day. It's a walking pace and stop. But if you want to train your muscles, just make it more of a lunging sort of like thing. So if you want to train your muscles, instead of it being there, which you do that, that's quite easy, right? Go a little bit further. Okay, and then turn, all right? Make sure your thighs are level, all right? Hips are level, thighs are going to be level there. And you'll start to feel that. You'll feel it pick up really within seconds. You'll start to think, oh, I feel that, all right? This, again, is part of physical exercise, mental exercise. Physical exercise is when you're doing things and you can feel it, right? You can really feel it. Mental exercise is when your head's turning round to the rest of your body saying, stop it, it's hurting. And what you want to do then is as long as it's not, I've said this before, but as long as it's not a searing pain in your muscles, right? Your head is starting to rule your body. So if you can push through that a little bit longer, maybe if you're thinking, oh no, I've got to stop this, just a few more seconds, all right? Then the next time you do it, what's happening is your muscles are growing, everything's going, yeah? It's getting bigger and better for you, all right? Giving up at the first hurdle, as the old phrase goes, ain't gonna win you the race, all right? You gotta keep going and going and going and going. And if you keep doing that, forget whether you win. Taking part is the absolute brilliant bit about it. Forget whether you win. If you keep going, you as a person will actually feel better. It's irrelevant what anybody else, whether if you've took part in a sport and they've won or whatever, right? The main aim of it is that you actually push yourself to do something, which if it was taking part in a sport and that was a competitive thing, you've done a wonderful thing. If it's not and you're just thinking, right, I'm just sort of like building things up, I want to feel better for it, what a fantastic thing to do. Okay, so let's try again. So we're going to add one more thing to this. So put your heel down, okay, and you'll notice that your hips aren't square, right? So square your hips, turn this hip there. Your thighs will be level now, so I could bounce a staff or a stick all the way up here, there, okay? And you'll start to feel that here, on that leg. This really is just there to stop you from falling over. And what I want you to do now, bring your hands there. So if you've got, whatever leg you've got forward, if you've got your right leg forward, put your right hand furthest away from you and put the other one behind, there, okay? All right, if you put the other leg forwards, remember I'm mirroring this, so this is my right, but if you're mirroring it, it'd be your left. Okay, same thing, put it there, square your hip in, like that. Whatever leg's forward, same hand goes out furthest away from you. There. All right. Okay. That's the monkey stance, and all stages of the monkey stance. There's nothing else that I can add to it that makes it more advanced than that, other than saying if you want to make it a training thing, if that's 1 foot, right, let's do it this way. If that's 1 foot, and you go here, and that's okay, fine. If you want to go further, you'll suddenly find that you will start to take more weight into this back leg, and it will train those quadriceps muscles for you, okay? It's really, really good. Actually trains that backs of the thighs, that sort of stuff, your bottom, right, loads of things, okay? So we're going to do a warm-up. Now, I've repeated this before, and it's been quite an interesting morning. I looked on YouTube this morning, and there was a young girl on there, and she's put sort of different bits of content on, and she's used other people's songs with it. And the copyright people from the various record companies have been in touch with the young girl, and they've actually said, hey, you're not supposed to be doing that, and if you're getting money from this, we're coming for you, and we're going to come and we want some of that money. So obviously the young girl's absolutely distraught with it. I don't use anybody else's music. There's some stuff that we recorded. It was one of my little pastimes. I play in a band, and we recorded it. So the music you're going to hear now is completely royalty free. I'm going to go to the side. We'll put a warm up on. If you remember from the other day, if you're in a group of people now, point to somebody else. So when I say change, it's somebody else's go to lead the group. If it's just one of you, just follow me. If it's two of you, interchange between each other, so the other person gets a chance to lead and do something, and you've got to copy them, okay? So I shall go down to my phone. By the way, you'll probably notice that it's quite windy out here today, so hopefully the microphone's not picking up too much wind, but we've got some really black clouds over there. It's not going to snow, but it may rain, I don't know, but anyway, we'll keep going. Right, give me 5 seconds, 10 seconds even. I'll get some music on.
Dinner is on.
Okay, just gently start the march on the spot.
It's a Sunday again.
Lift your feet up slightly.
Mother is
Ready?
singing to
Go.
the children. Dad's with his sons. The greenhouse is busy. It's a pruning again. Everything's easy and makes
And change.
sense. I like it. I like it.
And change.
Sisters in bed. Mother is shouting to her. Pack up your dolls. Dinner is ready. Go
Change.
tell Dad. The whole house smells good. I look at the street. This seems exactly the same. The windows are playing Sunday
Change.
songs. I like it. I like it.
Change.
Don't think I'm wrong. I'm singing songs, just watching Sundays on.
Change. Change. Remember, be as silly as you like. Change.
I like it. I like it.
Keep going, keep going.
I like it.
Probably went out of shot a little bit too quick there. I thought it was coming to an end that bit, but anyway, hope you enjoyed that. Right, we went through a number of movements over the last 3 days, from day 1 to day 3, and what we're going to do now is probably the easiest 2 movements, but first one today. Okay, so if you remember, stand in your horse stance. What I want you to do now is I want you to lift your arms up, slowly breathe in and breathe out. Okay. Now sometimes when you do that, it's really nice to have your eyes shut as you do it. Okay, so as you breathe in, have your eyes shut, and then gently open your eyes to see your hands in front of your face, and then come back down. Okay, so the movement is crane wakes up. So when you lift up, open your eyes. Okay, so start off, stand in a horse stance. Feel all your arms nice and relaxed. Remember, horse stance, you're bending your knees slightly, unlock your knees, head will go down about an inch, inch and a half, 2-3 centimeters. Okay, relax your shoulders, eyes shut. Lift up your arms, your hands. Breathe in. As you breathe in, open your eyes to see your hands in front of your face, and then come down and breathe out. Okay. Now you can do that movement where your arms come up and you open your eyes, and then as your arms come back down, you slowly close your eyes. Okay, you can do that. All right, that's up to you. Let's do it one more time. We'll add the second move on. So breathing in, breathing out. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Bring your arms round, 2 wings around the ball. Lean over, turn, breathe in, stretch open, breathe out. Other way, breathe in and breathe out. Okay, now your arms come back to there. If you remember, step forward now, uncross your arms, lift up like that first move. So breathing in, sink back, start to breathe out as you take your front foot back and breathe out, turn, stretch behind you. Back up, breathing in. Step back, breathing out. Okay? So, we did the other day, we did the one with the dancing crane, which was the movement of just lifting your knee and putting it down, lifting your knee and putting it down. So if you're new to this today, we'll go over that. I'm not going to go over in detail. If you want detail, go back to day 3. That'll give you the detail, okay? So, you're back to here. Lean over, lift up your knee and breathe in. Put it down, breathe out. Pick up your other knee, lift it up, breathe in. And breathe out. Okay, right. New movement for today, which is the crane prepares to fly. Okay? The crane prepares to fly is the classic Karate Kid film thing, and you've already done it. You've already done the crane move, and we did the crane move in day 3. So you've already done this move that you're going to do now. So if you go back to day 3, you'll see doing the crane stance, and it's exactly the same thing with just a couple of things added. All right, so here we go. Stand in your horse stance. So you know a crane, right, is to take your weight over, lift your knees, okay? But now what we're going to do is we're going to push forward. So bring your hands in and push your foot forwards and down to there. Keep that knee bent, come back, right? Take your weight across, all right? Now lift up your knee and push, there. and drop down. All right, to there. It's not easy to do on here, as I said before. There's loads of like tufts of grass and things, but wherever you are, your body will adjust to the actual surroundings. So if it's a lumpy floor, or really, you should do this barefoot. And there are big benefits of doing it barefoot, particularly on the grasses. But that's for a conversation for another day. But if you do this, just think crane stance. So lift your crane, bring your hands in, and use your hands to push your foot forward, and then down. All right. Now, some of you, you're going to find that this is going to ache. It's going to ache. All right. Some of you will think, oh no, I can do that. No problem whatsoever. I'm not after the height. I'm after the control of your foot going down. So I'm not thinking like a lift up here, bring it up, and then down. I don't want the height. What I'm after is the controlling from there down to the floor, okay? Control it. Don't lift up and go like that. That's not what I want. I want you to control your leg down. Now that may have a sort of height issue with you. It may have your ability to be able to control it if you do go a little bit higher. So if you want to do the crane stance from here, there, and then bring it in and push and go like that, that's fine. Just that. Right, so here, in, push, there. That's okay. If you can go a little bit higher, go a little bit higher. But remember, control your foot down. That's where you're going to get benefit here, benefit in here, benefit there, there, there. You're going to get all those benefits, right, from that controlled movement. If you throw a leg out, virtually no benefit at all from it. All right, but using your muscles to control. This is one of the big things about Tai Chi. Controlling your muscles, controlling your actions, controlling what you do. That's the really, really, really big sort of thing, with when you start looking towards people who do Tai Chi. They control their actions, right? Whether that's muscular, whether that's the physical side of it, whether that's the mental side of it. They do everything they can to control their actions. And what they don't do is they don't let things from the outside influence them. Not much anyway. Okay, now remember what I've just said. They don't let things from the outside influence them. And if you can get that, if you can practice that, and I'm still trying, I'm still practicing with you guys, all right? If you get that, you'll find that it's much happier, much more beneficial, much more healthy, day for you, okay? So that was called the crane prepares to fly. Now the reason it's called the crane prepares to fly is when you see a crane trying to take off. A crane is a big bird. Crane's probably here. I'm sort of around, I think I'm 184 or something like that in meters, a touch over 6 foot. You've got cranes are around about this height, so about there on me. So it's a big bird with very, very big wings. But all big birds can't be like a sparrow. Little sparrow can sit on the fence and just gone. It doesn't need a run up. If you watch swans on a lake, this sort of thing, when they start to try to get off the water, you can woof, 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 and they start to run down the lake almost. And if you've ever watched one, it's not often you see this, but if you've ever watched one from thinking, oh, I'm going to go for it, right, they suddenly start to go with their wings, and then all of a sudden their bodies start to lift up, and then they start to use their legs and then the wings, and the whole thing's combined, and they go. When they watch a crane take off, it's such a big bird that it needs a couple of steps. So what you have here is you have up, one step, yeah, and then you have the other one, up, 2 steps, okay? So it's 2 steps, so what you're doing is you're mimicking the 2 steps, so the crane prepares to fly, okay? So, you've had, this morning you had new ways of standing, you've had a nice warm-up, you've also had a new movement in Tai Chi, and we've gone through all the other bits to get you there. The last thing I'm going to do, and this is going to be a short demonstration, is I'm going to do a movement called silk reeling, and I want you guys to try and practice this at home. I'm going to leave you this. This is for your homework, which I know you're all at home at the moment. All right. Hopefully, when people are looking at this in the future, they won't be at home. Fingers crossed. This happens really quickly. But this is called silk reeling. All right. So stand with your feet shoulder width apart, and what I want you to do is I want you to bring one hand up straight up the center of your body. Okay, so bring it up. Easy stuff. Okay, so relax your shoulders, bring your hand straight up the center, and then what I want you to do now is I want you to take that hand and I want you to push it out to the same side the hand's on. So push it out there, and then come down, and I want you to bring it up the center. Okay, and then I want you to turn, and I want you to push it out and then down there. Okay, you could think of this, if you wanted to, a little bit like sort of like a digger, digging out some soil, digging out some sand. So it comes down, digs up, okay, out we go, down it goes. All right, now that in itself, hopefully most of you will be able to get, and I'm not going to go into the more sort of like complicated parts of this. We'll do that. Okay, all right, now do it with the other hand. So lift up and then out and down and lift up and out and down. Okay, if you're struggling with one hand doing this but you're okay with the other, ask the other hand to teach the one that's struggling. Okay, alright, so remember, up we go and then out. Right? Okay, now that's the start of it. There's some more stages that we're going to cover over the days, but I'm conscious of making these videos potentially too long. The last two have been around the 40-minute sort of session things, and the more we learn, the more I have to go back to recap on the things you've already done. So if you look at it like this, what's happening is we started off with this amount to learn and it was all new, and what's happening is this top part is the bits you already know, so we come down to only this bit which is new for you to learn. Okay, so I don't want to make these videos too long for you, so I'm just going to leave you one final thing. Remember, practice this movement. So up, out and down, and you can do that. Come up with this one, up, out and down. Okay, up, out and down. All right, now what I'm going to do tomorrow, we're going to start to combine things. We're going to start to turn and move and sway and all sorts of bits and pieces. So we'll start to put a lot more information into the actual movement of this silk reeling, and I'll explain it to you. It's a really lovely thing. If you get this, it will really benefit you from the point of view of your health, mental health as well, because it's absolutely mesmeric when you start to move and you start to go. You can see what I'm doing here. You can see this movement. You can guess where we're going tomorrow. Okay? Alright? So, hope you had a really lovely morning. I had a fantastic day, 2-3 days since you watched this, okay? I had a really nice time. The wind's just got up right on cue, so hopefully that sounded too much of a blowy thing inside, okay? So, bring your feet together. May rain, may rain. Bring your hands across your face, hold the moon, cloud over, and bow. Have a truly wonderful day. Be safe and keep those really, really close to you. Give them a big hug, okay? Or give them a big telephone call. Alright, take care everybody. Bye-bye.